because I just love that upside, right? And I'm okay with taking big risks. All right. I'm a risk taker. If you're not a risk taker, then you would be focusing on an income producing property. This is a mismanaged facility. Okay. And so, like, I drove in, took a look. I was like, yes, this is perfect. So I called my realtor right then and there, and I said, yes, this property was on the market for $500,000. Oops, that's it. $500,000. This is what he wanted to sell it for. Okay. I didn't know if that was a good price or not. I knew I wasn't going to be offering that price, right? But I didn't know if it was a good price or not. And it had been on the market for 5 years. Okay. Nobody bought it. Remember, this is back in the day when like properties would stay on the market for like years, right? And nobody had put any offers. Now this like never happens, right? You can't even go online to look for a storage facility. If you are looking online for a storage facility, then you have no idea what you're doing, right? Because the best deals are not online. All right. Every facility, everything that I bought is always off market. You want to be looking off market to find your property. You can't go online. There's too much competition and the prices are ridiculous. And people are buying at like the wrong cap rates because people don't understand cap rate. All right. Especially sellers like this facility, the owner of this facility. The name of this facility was Big John's Storage. Big John Storage. My favorite storage facility is Big John Storage Facility, right? And so, so I told my realtor, I was like, I'm very interested in this property. I want to buy it. I was like, can we meet the owner and we can figure out how we can work together to buy this property? And so the realtor set an appointment for us with their realtor and with John, right? And then we all met out. I took me, my husband, my daughter at the time, right? I'm like holding her, and because she was just born, and my lender. I brought my lender with me, right? I already knew this is a mismanaged facility. Oh, I'm like, I didn't see this. Mismanaged facility, okay? Mismanaged facilities. Like I just got off all my coaching calls. I do coaching calls every Monday with my students. And there's a couple of people right now that are focusing on buying a couple of mismanaged facilities. To find money for a mismanaged facility is harder than finding money for an income producing property. A mismanaged facility, right, means that there's no income coming in. And in the commercial real estate world, right, it's all about income. The lender's going to ask, how much money is this property making? And can you prove that? If you can't prove that, then that's considered a mismanaged facility. And most likely they are not going to lend on that type of facility. Now there's a gray area. And I would say probably maybe 60 to 80%, like 60 to 75% is kind of this gray area. Or you can maybe go to a bank and they may lend on it. You can go to SBA and they may lend on it. If you can prove that that income has been happening over the last year or so, like it's slowly building up kind of a thing, right? But if it's been sitting like this facility, this guy here, so we met out there and he started giving me the numbers and it just wasn't like, it wasn't adding up in my brain. Like, I don't know anything about storage facility, but I can add, right, in my mind. And so when you are like 60% or less, like most likely that's a mismanaged facility and it's harder to find lenders. It's harder to find lenders to lend to you. So most likely you're going to either have to do some creative deal structure or you're going to have to get you're going to have to get a private lender to lend to you. So I already knew that most likely this already looked like a crapshoot, right? So I was like, let me just take my lender with me and let me just see if he's interested in this. And this is one of my lenders that's just like, he's just gung ho about every deal. He just loves any good deal. If it's a good deal and he can make some money on it, he loves it, right? And so I was like, why don't you just come down and let's just go look at this thing. He was like, yeah, I'll go with you. And this is like one of my lenders that I've befriended over the last 10 years. He's given me millions of dollars to lend out. And he actually came to my wedding, right? That's the kind of lenders that you need to you need to build. If you are going to learn how to invest in self-storage, you're going to learn how to find private lenders. Okay. This is what I teach in the coaching program. Okay. Now, so I took my lender, I took my husband, we went down and met John, Big John, right? And we talked to John. He started telling us his story, right? He built this thing in 1980. The first 20 years that he had it was awesome. He was making a lot of money, and then he just got tired of it. He didn't want to do it anymore. After 20 years, he's like, I'm done. And so then it just started going to crap. He was just like, do whatever. It's cash only business, cash only. So when you hear somebody say it's cash only or it's cash and checks only, most likely they are not going to be able to provide you the numbers that you need in order to get a loan on the property. Very rarely, if it's a cash business. So when you buy a property, when you buy your facility, you are not going to be a cash business. We do not take cash at all. We don't even take checks. We only take electronic payments because we want to sell our property at the highest possible, amount of money that we can get. And the only way that you can do that in the commercial world is by proving that that property can make X amount of income. Now, John did not do that because when I asked him, I said, how much money are you making? He's like, oh yeah, I'm making around $2,300 a month. $2,300 a month is what he said, okay? And I was looking around, and as we were walking around, he was telling me his story. His wife wants to retire and move to Florida. He's old. He's like 88 years old. I mean, he was old, right? He was ready to retire as well too. And I said, why haven't you sold this thing? This is, this looks like a good investment. Why haven't you sold it? And he's like, just nobody's put any good offers in or whatever, I said, okay. So he said he made around $2,300